DicePouch.com, premier custom dice bags for the tabletop gamer. Your inner geek wants out. Featured sponsor of Gamers Table.
Hello and welcome to Gamers Table, a discussion of tabletop role-playing games and other topics related to the gamer subculture. Be warned, this show may contain some explicit material that may not be suitable for all audiences.
Hello and welcome to Gamers Table. My name is Eric.
This is Mike.
This is Mark. This is Dan.
This is Shannon.
This is Dave.
Where you at, Jason? Oh, this is Sean.
That's right, no Jason today. So, Dan, what are we talking about today?
Well, this will be the next in our series of Let's Talk About Jason When He's Not Here.
That's one of our favorite things to do.
Our favorite thing to do.
Yes, poor Jason is on a work trip, so he has to miss recording night, so that means we get to talk
And
about it.
we're going to talk about one of his favorite things is GenCon.
That's right, going to GenCon.
Yay.
We have released episodes about GenCon before. One of the reasons why we're doing this one now is because when this is released, it will be the week before event registration. So, it's a good time to really start thinking about the process of preparing for GenCon. And people who don't go to GenCon, may not, appreciate that as much, but GenCon is kind of a big deal.
It's your yearly event, and we have learned from experience, and we'll talk about this during the show, is we have learned that going with no plan is a bad plan. The biggest thing we ever screwed up, Eric, was what?
Going there for one day.
Going there for one day, and we didn't have tickets.
Didn't have passes. Or badges.
We went on a whim.
And you can go with no plan if you're with people that have a plan. Because last year I had no plan and had a great time.
Yeah.
Making plans, yes.
You can't do the opposite either, Dan.
Over plan?
No, I totally agree. So I would say the first thing of what we'll call Gamers Table GenCon Primer is buy your badge ahead of time.
Yes, and badge registration is currently going on, and it usually happens about the middle or end of January.
Yes.
That is also when they open up the housing block. It works out that once you get your badge, you pay for your badge, you can do the housing, because the price is less than if you were to do it.
It is
on your own.
What is housing?
Actually, significantly less.
Hotel.
Yeah, so you can through the convention, you can reserve hotel rooms.
Okay.
And what they do is the
GenCon Housing Authority.
Right.
That's
essentially what it is.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. The GenCon Housing Authority has agreements with just about every hotel in the downtown area, and I looked at hotel rooms before and after. It is actually a fairly significant discount.
let me put it into perspective. Every GenCon, because I have a preferred membership with a particular hotel chain.
Because he's a swanky MF.
Right. So what I can book my room for GenCon virtually the day after GenCon. So for the next year.
Okay.
Don't let that out. We don't want people to know that.
You have to be a member, but for
just don't tell them a member of what. That's right.
Oh, right.
It's of Downtown Dirtball Hotel. Right.
But anyway, so I can reserve it like the day after. So the price of the hotel this year, we have we're all staying in the same hotel, and we booked my room way ahead of time, and we have 2 other rooms in the same hotel at probably 2/3 the price of what I'm paying.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, so it is a significant discount if you want to.
You glazed over something pretty important there. Staying in the same hotel would be my bullet point number 2.
Right.
Yeah, last year we said in 2 separate hotels,
and we did not see Mark, or I didn't see Woodside. Everybody,
me and Mike and Woodside were in one room, and then
didn't see you guys at all.
Right.
It depends on your agenda.
Good. So that was good.
Yeah, I didn't see Sean until Friday.
Yes.
People have asked us online, hey, how much is this? How much is that? And usually when we talk about how much is the hotel, that's a big turnoff to people. Because, you're talking $1,000 for a weekend, for a room. Of course, when you split it 5 ways, it's better.
Not as bad.
It's not as bad.
It's not as cheap as doing what I almost did this year, which is another option you can do is you can stay outside of the downtown district in like a chain hotel, like a Super 8 or a Motel 6 for significantly significantly cheaper.
Well,
but I
right.
figured up once you pay like every day for parking if you drove yourself or
cabs.
extended cab rides,
Right.
it really starts to even that price out.
Right. Something else that it was actually Grumpy Celt that brought this up. Whenever he was inquiring about going to GenCon, he said, well, how much is the hotels? And I told him, the hotels nearby are this much. And he was like, whew. He goes, I'm going to look into a hostel. And I thought,
along with your items which you've stored in your anus.
and see, that's the thing. That's the first thing anybody ever thinks whenever they think hostel. Well, there is a website called ushostels.com, and if you go to ushostels.com, you can see the hostels that are available in any area.
I've stayed in hostels. They're not as bad as people
No,
think.
and
they're actually
Yeah,
pretty
screw
nice.
you, Eli Roth, for ruining hostels for everyone.
The ones in Chicago were fairly well. The two that I had seen were fairly nice.
Yeah, and that's it is this like preconceived notion of Euro trip where you have a communal bathroom and you have to store all of your goods up your ass.
That's purely optional, Dave.
Right.
No, but I looked into it.
Or they charge extra for that.
There's two hostels in Indianapolis. Both charge about $23 a day.
Wow.
Which
And one of them I thought was actually pretty close to downtown.
it's not very far. When we talk about cab rides from the event to your hotel, if your hotel is within a certain
it's like 2 mile radius.
2 mile radius,
It's a
of
set
the-
fee, yeah.
it's a set $5 flat fee.
Yeah, and
for any.
depending on your cab company, because I got screwed one time. Because
Yeah,
we were all like
that's
taking
cabs.
We
But
were all
see-
taking cab rides, and it was like, all right, $5 my turn, $5 my turn. Got to be my turn. It was like $25.
But that was before we knew
Right.
the rule behind it, and if we would have known that, we would have said, "Hey, no, you're getting your $5, and that's it, buddy."
Right. Like I say, that's cab rides in general. So it's like, okay, so we're like 2-3 bullet points in of GenCon.
Right. Get your badge early, so that
Got to get that's if you do nothing else, get your badge.
and there is one other thing. Whenever you do get your badge, make sure. I think they started it 2 years ago, where the default setting for the badges is will call, and you have to actually change it to have it mailed to your house. If you do not change it, you will be standing in line for a long time to
Yes.
get your badge.
Unless you are there Wednesday night, because didn't we pick up will call badges?
Yeah,
one year?
mine. I didn't know about the whole default
Right.
thing.
Wednesday
'Cause I almost
night-
always got mine FedEx.
Yeah, it's pretty light, so you can get your will call stuff Wednesday night, pretty hassle free.
Dave and I were talking about whether or not he's going to come with us. He's probably not going to know if he's coming until we're about to leave.
Until he's black bagged.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a valid plan.
We've had to black bag Mike a couple times.
We've almost had a black bag Mike. I think we threatened to black bag you, Dan, one time.
Yeah, we threatened to
When I
black
didn't
bag
know you
Greg.
guys, like when I barely knew you guys, you threatened to black bag me. I was like,
and I was
Who are
like,
these guys? Yeah, it was like
I
1 month
never-
into you coming over and
Yeah.
gaming with us.
Jason's talking about black bag. I'm like, we're never going to see shit.
Yeah. Well, we almost had Shannon on the show, but then
There was a black bag, and
things escalated quickly.
So why do we go to Gen Con? We go to Gen Con for stuff.
As a new gamer, as someone who's never been to Gen Con, give me the pitch. Why should I go to Gen Con?
pizza de Tito's.
That is not good enough.
Oh yes,
No,
it is. Once
it
you've had
is.
it.
It really is.
That's right. Go for the game, stay for Pizza de Tito. No, the thing about it is that almost all of your gaming companies are there. I mean, virtually every gaming company you can think of is there, and they go all out to try and pitch their wares. You can demo,
Except for White Wolf that one year when they were
wait, Dave,
Talking alcohol.
Dave, Doctor Who booth,
there's a massive Doctor Who booth.
Huge.
and the fifth Doctor's
And
there.
if
Or
if
six.
past years are any inclination, Doctor Who booth will be even bigger.
Well, yeah,
this year.
it's gotten progressively bigger every year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of the popularity in the United States, gotten so much more.
Right.
I think it was 2 cons ago. The Doctor Who booth
was a corner.
It was a corner, and most of it was hidden behind like a 2/3 TARDIS.
Yes.
Yes.
So I just stood on the end of the booth and had another dude take a picture of me standing in front of the TARDIS, and I texted it to Dave to piss him off.
yeah, because there.
And it did.
Yeah, because there's like a big, huge TARDIS, and then on the other side is a lot of like virtually every Doctor's
All the sonic screwdrivers
and all
tons
that
of
stuff.
T-shirts.
Oh, you'll see them everywhere.
It's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So the thing I like when we're talking about stuff, I'll bring up one of Jason's favorite thing is throughout the con you're going to see stuff get discounted.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I'm looking at
and we've
Jason's
mentioned
stack of sidewalk.
Yeah, we've mentioned this before that yes, not your established dealers or your companies. they don't usually discount a whole lot of stuff.
There are some like wholesalers, or I don't even know what you would
Even
call
retailers.
Crazy Igor. I don't
Man,
know what he is.
Crazy you or hacked me off last year.
What Crazy Igor do to Mark?
All right.
Gave him the crazy eyes.
Usually, Crazy Igor at least has his stuff in some kind of organization.
Oh yeah, I know what you're
and then
saying.
last year, Crazy Igor just threw boxes of stuff out.
Boxes and boxes
He
and
mailed it
boxes.
in.
Yeah.
You had to hunt.
Yeah, it was like, hey, I'm looking for. I was looking for Gear Creek at the time. Is that any Gear Creek? He goes, yeah, it's around here somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Good luck
What do you mean
finding
around
it.
here somewhere. I walked across the con and bought Gear Creek at another place.
So to Mark's point, my GenCon Primer bullet, well, because we're on like 6 or 7 now, is go with a list of the stuff that you would like to get, like, because all throughout the year I look at stuff online. I'm like, I don't really know if I want it because I haven't flipped through it. I don't really know the meat and potatoes of it.
Right.
So this year I'm going with a list of all those books that I've kind of thought about getting all year long.
Or minis.
And minis.
Minis.
Because I need more minis to taunt me. Thank you.
I was talking on Twitter the other night and talking about going to Gen Con and remembering what stuff I got because last year I bought like 2 L5R books that I'd already had.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Keeping track
Lists
of
are
your
important.
keeping track of the things that you need.
And now, Sean, you were talking about this before the show, and we made sure that you have to remember that because this is about Jason.
Yes.
What do you do when you find the stuff that you want?
Well, if it's Friday, you hide it.
Only Jason.
Like you go to Crazy Igor or Ivan or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Anyway, you find a book you want and you bury it somewhere in his other pile of shit. and then
really
Maybe that's what
Saturday,
happened to Crazy Igor. It wasn't his fault at all.
Yeah,
It's all
that,
Jason.
people are reshuffling everything.
because then comes Saturday, it's $1 less, and then comes Sunday, it's $1 less.
Right.
So you can get it for like 50 cents on Sunday.
Jeez.
And then if you get him like you wait till you see him packing up, you could probably only get it for cheaper. Say,
Well,
hey,
yeah, and that's
Because they don't want to haul it home.
And
Right.
we've mentioned this in the past that it's not the retailers or the wholesalers that you want to talk to whenever you go and pay for something. It's their workers. It's the people that have to lug that
Yeah.
shit back into their van
Yep.
and all that stuff. You want to talk to them because last year I walked up with a stack of books and I said, let's make a deal to just one of the guys.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, $20.
Well, and to your point, I was thinking this year I'm going to go with a wad of stripper ones because ones are a hot commodity
Yes,
there.
yes.
Like, hey, I'll give you 10 ones for that. I may be inclined to get it.
That's true because
Well,
they're always
take
looking for
ones.
change.
They're
and
all
on
over
Saturday,
for change.
I bought Star Wars, the game.
Yep.
Oh, the
minis.
mini game, yeah.
And then we played it that
Saturday
night,
night, I
and
broke it.
he broke it. Dan broke it. So Sunday we waited. I waited all day. I kept procrastinating. Well, it was like Sunday evening, and they're already starting to tear down the booths and everything. And Dan just said, "Here, give it here. I broke it. I'll get it replaced."
Because
I wasn't going to.
They were running out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he just said, "Hey, we broke this last night playing it. You know, it must have been defective or what. I forget what excuse you give him."
Those minis are really cheaply
Yeah.
made.
So he's like, yeah, no problem. Here, I'll just give you another one. And I'm like, well, do you want this one back? He's like, no, keep it.
And I get it.
It was like what were those, $35 a
No,
piece?
that was it was one of the TIE fighters.
Was it?
Which was like retail at that time because it was flat retail price. It
Yeah.
was like $17.
Yes. Okay.
Right,
But
right.
he said, and it wasn't nothing wrong with it. I just went home and
I
re-glued it.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was perfect.
You just gotta
Jeez.
you gotta be
So
very gentle with
he
them.
just said, yeah, just keep it. You got an extra one now. I was like,
Yep.
sweet.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
deals.
they're
He
definitely
didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
They're definitely willing to deal.
So he just gave me one. I was like,
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, and some of your smaller vendors who have just like, like a hodgepodge of things, like buttons and patches and things like that. I walked up to a dealer that had like all the Harry Potter
House badges.
house badges and had all those things. And at the time, my daughter was really wanting everything Gryffindor. So I was like,
Why wouldn't you?
Nah. I'll
So-
put
and-
Slytherin on the fly of all my shorts.
Whoa.
so I was talking to the lady saying how much my daughter really liked this and blah, blah, blah. And I bought a patch and she threw in 2 other patches just because I was nice and talking to her. And
yeah, I ended up getting like 4 free T-shirts.
Well, I would like to point out, okay,
you found one on the bathroom floor.
That wasn't the one I got, was it?
No.
Oh no.
these dealers are willing to deal with you, I think, because their flat prices are straight retail.
Yes, they do not have like marked
Many times with some of our, we'll say, larger companies that I don't feel bad about, I was like, I want this, but then I would look on Amazon, it would be like 25% less. I'm like, I really like you, Fantasy Flight, but you're doing okay. So we're going to help myself out, and I'll just get it on Amazon. But
Right.
then there are those games like, I found Burning. I got the
Burning Wheel.
Burning Wheel book,
Right.
that I've been looking for forever, and I got